Hey everybody, John Yard here, and today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't throw your wood ash away. And I'm going to talk specifically about 7 different ways that you may not have heard of for how you can use wood ash around your house or farm or homestead or whatever you like to call it. And so today, the first thing I've got here is you'll notice I've got a pair of gloves, and I just want to mention at the beginning of the video that wood ash, which I've got in this bin here, wood ash is abrasive and it is also caustic, so you want to be careful when you're using it. You want to wear gloves, and if it's really fine and you're stirring some of it up, you might even want to wear like a respirator to make sure you don't breathe any of it in. You want to not get it on your skin if you can avoid it, because it can burn your skin from just being abrasive. And when you're gathering your ash, you also want to make sure that there aren't any hot embers left in it, because as you may know, wood embers can burn for a really long time, so you want to make sure it's completely cool before you're using it for anything else. And then one other thing on that note is I'm assuming for this video that the wood ash you're using has all come from wood that's not treated with any chemicals. So if you've treated your wood with any chemicals, or if you've even used like lighter fluid or something like that on it, you probably don't want to use those ashes for any of the things I'm about to talk through, because you just don't want to be using that chemical stuff. So anyway, I've got here a bin of the ash from the wood stove here, and you probably see some of that in the video. And so the first thing I think is really interesting that I want to mention that you can do with your leftover ashes is, number one, you can use them as an abrasive cleaner. So you may notice from your wood stove or fireplace, if you have like the glass viewing point where you can see like through to the fire, so the glass cover on your wood stove or fireplace, you can actually use ash to clean that off, because it always gets black and dirty, as you might know. Or also you can use it as a cleaner for metal. So you might have like an old rusty hammer or even silverware in the kitchen. You can polish up that metal using ash, because it is an abrasive and it can get some of that old rusty stuff off of there for you. So that's number one. Number two, I think this one's really interesting also, is wood ash is actually a desiccant, which basically just means that it absorbs moisture in the environment around it. So if you have a bathroom that tends to stay wet, it doesn't have very good ventilation perhaps, you could actually put a bin of wood ash in there and it would help reduce the moisture level. You could also use it for if you have like a basement or like a crawl space maybe that tends to get wet. You could leave a bin of wood ash down there and it would help absorb some of that moisture. So the third thing that you could use your leftover wood ash for is to absorb odors, like bad smells. So wood ash is actually an alkaline, which is similar to baking soda. And you might have heard of people using like baking soda to like soak up bad smells. And you can do something similar with wood ash. So for example, if your trash is really smelly, you could put some wood ash on your trash can to absorb some of those bad odors, to kind of absorb it and clean it up so it doesn't smell so bad. Also, maybe you have like a shop or a room in your house that tends to have bad smells with it. You could actually use some wood ash as a bit of an air freshener. It's not like a traditional air freshener, because it's not going to give like a new scent or like a flowery smell to it, but it will soak up bad smells. So that's the first 3. Number 4 is for your garden, which this time of year you can probably see all around me that it's snowing. This time of year you probably wouldn't use this one so much, but in the summer and the spring, for your garden, if your soil is acidic, then you can use wood ash to balance the pH levels of your soil. So it is alkaline, so it will kind of, if you have acidic soil, you can help balance it by mixing in some wood ash with the rest of your soil, which I think the best time to do that is probably at the beginning of the season when you're getting ready to plant. If you can actually mix the ash in when you're doing the tilling of the soil, that would be probably a good time to do it. And then another one that you can use it for, so I think this would be then number 5 that you can do with your wood ash, is you can actually make homemade soap out of it. And this is one where definitely you would want to use the right safety gloves and that type of thing, safety equipment, because mixing it can be like abrasive on your skin. But you may or may not know that one of the primary ingredients of a lot of types of soap is lye, L-Y-E, and you can actually make lye out of ash and water. So I won't go into how to do that, but you can find, there's a lot of resources online that you can find on Google that will talk you through like making homemade soap, all natural soap, and with using wood ash. So that's number 5. Number 6 is really relevant to what's going on around me right now. There's snow everywhere, as you can see, and ash can actually be used as a bit of an ice melt. So if you get like your car stuck, or you just have like really icy pavement, and you're like nervous about pulling your car out, you can use ash to help melt some of that ice. And it's not like a chemical de-icer, and so it will act a lot slower. That's kind of one of the downsides. It's not going to melt the ice as quickly as a commercial de-icer will. But since it's dark, you might be able to see it on the snow in front of me here a little bit. Because it's dark, it absorbs more of the sunlight, which can help the snow melt and the ice melt faster. But worst case scenario, it is still an abrasive, and it can help you have more traction. Kind of like putting sand down. You might have done this before or heard of using sand to give your tires traction. You can use ash to do something similar to that. So that's number 6, is using it as a bit of a de-icer or traction, or for adding traction to your tires in the winter, for pulling your car out. So number 7, the last one here, is for like your shop or your garage. If you have an oil spill, some people will use something like sawdust to soak up that oil off of the pavement and to take out that oil off the ground. But you can actually use ash for that as well. So something you could do is just keep a bucket of ash in your shop, and if you spill something, you can use some ash to soak it up, because of course it's very dry and can take on some of that liquid. So there you have it. That's the 7 things that you can use wood ash for around your house. There's probably other ones. So if you have like a creative one that you've used or that you know about that you can use wood ash for around your house, definitely drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I reply to all the comments, or I put a reaction on all the comments on the channel, and I'd love to hear from you. And I'd also invite you to subscribe to the channel, and we'd be happy to have you join the conversation. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you here next time on Burly Beaver. Thanks, guys.